pop quiz. You've got one conflicting viewpoints passage left, and the clock is ticking. What should you do first? A. Read every word slowly. B. Identify each viewpoint's main claim. C. Start graph hunting. Or D. Guess and move on. Lock in your pick. If you chose B, you're on track. In most cases, the quickest move is to identify the viewpoint's claim first. Everything else gets easier once you know where each viewpoint stands. In this video, ACT Science Conflicting Viewpoints passages, you'll learn a three-step system: claim, evidence, and compare, so you can answer questions without rereading the whole passage. You're watching ACT Prep with Quizlet, quick lessons to help you feel more confident on test day. Conflicting viewpoints is the most text-heavy passage type. You'll often see one in the science section, and it typically comes with about 7 questions. So having a plan matters. That said, pacing tip: it often takes longer than chart passages. So if you're behind on time and it shows up late, consider skipping it, finishing faster sections first, and then coming back with the time you saved. When you return to it, stay organized with a tiny note grid, 1 column per viewpoint with 3 rows. Claim, evidence, compare. Now, let's break it down step by step. Step 1, claim. Read the first 1 to 3 sentences under each heading and circle the stance word or phrase. This includes words like predicts, causes, prevents, depends on, cannot explain, or any phrase that shows direction, like leads to or is primarily due to. In other words, your goal is to capture what each viewpoint is actually arguing in one clear line. Step 2, evidence. Skim for numbers, instruments, conditions, examples, or cause and effect phrases. As you find them, tag each with just 2 to 3 words so you can locate it fast later. Step 3, compare. Mark where the viewpoints agree, where they clash, and what they never mention. This is key, because most questions are really asking you to use those relationships. For example, you encounter a passage about predicting volcanic eruptions. Viewpoint 1 says, eruptions can be predicted in real time using seismic swarms, rising sulfur dioxide, and ground deformation measured by GPS and tilt meters. Viewpoint 2 says, those signals aren't reliable. Some volcanoes show all 3 and never erupt, while others erupt with weak signals. Instead, Viewpoint 2 argues that long-term eruption records for that volcano are more trustworthy. Now apply the grid. For Viewpoint 1, the claim is that real-time signals predict an eruption soon. The evidence is seismic swarms, sulfur dioxide spikes, and ground deformation. For Viewpoint 2, the claim is that those signals are inconsistent. The evidence is false alarms, weak signal eruptions, and eruption history. With that in place, you're ready for a classic question. Which statement, if true, would support both viewpoints? Start by eliminating the traps. Watch for single signal answers. Choices that focus on just swarms or just sulfur dioxide usually support Viewpoint 1. Next, check the wording. If you see words like alone, always, or not at all, treat that as a warning sign and eliminate it, because it usually goes too far for a both question. Once those are gone, look for the overlap. The best both choice combines long-term records with real-time signals. So far, you've learned to grab the claim fast, park evidence in a quick grid, and use agreement versus disagreement to predict the right answer without rereading. Ready to lock it in? Tap the link for a quick ACT practice on Quizlet. Then, jump back in, so you can keep learning without missing a beat. Now, let's shift to a new topic: coral bleaching. Viewpoint 1 says, bleaching is mainly caused by thermal stress, when ocean temperature stays above normal for several weeks. In contrast, Viewpoint 2 says, bleaching is mainly driven by nutrient pollution that fuels algal growth which can block light and stress corals, even when temperatures are normal. Now, let's hit an experiment design question. What's the best way to test viewpoint 2? First, look for a design that isolates nutrients. For example, compare similar reef sites with different nutrient levels while keeping other factors, like temperature, light, depth, and coral species, as constant as possible. Next, switch to strengthen or weaken. New info says, bleaching spikes after heat waves in remote, low pollution reefs. That strengthens viewpoint 1 because bleaching still happens when nutrients are low. At the same time, it weakens the claim that nutrients are the main driver, since the effect appears without heavy nutrient input. But be careful with wording. This doesn't prove nutrients never matter. It just suggests they may not be the primary cause in every situation. One more important detail you shouldn't miss. If a passage has 3 viewpoints, switch to a 3-column grid. Then, for each question, ask who agrees, who disagrees, who doesn't address it. That doesn't mention column can be a fast way to eliminate choices. Finally, remember the goal. You're not deciding who's right in real life. You're matching each question to the viewpoint, using only what's stated or directly implied on the page. To recap, 1. Capture each claim from the first 1 to 3 sentences. 2. Tag 2 to 3 evidence cues per viewpoint. And 3. Use overlap and conflict to answer both, only one. Experiment design, and strengthen or weaken questions quickly. Keep learning. Visit our ACT Study Hub for practice tests to get you ready for test day.